We're going to be checking our left to right. So there are two different size spoke lengths, most likely. So I had two, and the first one I put in had a lot more threads exposed than what the rest of them look like as far as the outside right flanges. So make sure you do measure and get the appropriate length. If you're a little off, I'm sure in a pinch it would be okay, but sometimes it does affect tensioning, which could affect the whole wheel, just longevity down the road. So now I got that finger tight. Now I did use a tensiometer, a tension meter. I used this guy right here previously, and I got a measurement for all the outside spokes, and I was coming in at about 29, 28, 30 was the average. So what I can do here is I can do a measurement here. So right now this is measuring tension. So right now I'm about 14, which is really off. So I could go ahead and tighten this up with my spoke wrench, get it back into the neighborhood of its neighbors, and then give it a spin. Hopefully it should be fairly straight. Right now I'm a little bit crooked. That's one method. Or I can just go ahead and start truing it, and the truing stand will help me find that weak spoke, the one that's doesn't have enough tension, and we can just continue to let that help us get the wheel back to trueness. So your choice. So if you lose your spoke, you don't know which one went, just go ahead and start pinching a pair of spokes, and right here I actually found that really weak one. I'm going to go ahead and throw a piece of tape on it in case I do have to walk away. Phone rings. Sounds like we got some leaf blowers going on our neighbor. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start tightening this up, and I'm going to try and get it back into the neighborhood. I'm going to use my tension meter to just get close. So that's feeling pretty stiff right there. That's probably 1 or 2 full turns. And I'm right about 24. So I'm gonna try and get about 28, 29. And again, we're tightening in that direction, so I'm going righty-tighty. And I don't want to go overboard here. So about 26. Let's go ahead and stop right there. Definitely got good tension on it right there. It definitely blends in with the rest of them. So we're gonna give it a spin. We're gonna start the truing process. If it's out of round or out of going left or right, we're gonna end up going back to this spoke. This truing stand will help me find it. And basically just continue the truing process. We're gonna be checking our left to right. That will usually take care of this situation. So we're getting a little bit of a rub over on the left side. Locate that scrape. Scrape's right about here. The new spoke is right about there. So we're going to continue this process. Now I'm going to use some of this Tri-Flow, something light that we can use for the chains. We're going to put a drop down here at the base. That's where that little flat head is. That flat head is making direct contact with the rim. So in this case it's metal on metal. We're putting a little drop of oil in there. It's going to make its way down there and offer a little lubrication. So we're looking for a really small, short scrape. We're going to find the center of that scrape. So right about there. The scrape is on the left side. So we want to find the spokes that are on the opposite side, meaning this is my left side of the flange. We want to look at the spokes that are connected to the right side of the flange. So it's lining up almost with this guy here. So we don't want to tighten this left spoke. All it's going to do is make the scrape worse. It's going to make the rim go that way. So we want to find the spoke. Since it's falling almost on the center of this guy, we're going to look for the 2 spokes just on the outside. So it's going to be these 2 right here. These 2 spokes. So every other spoke, one's going left, one's going right. So if we look at this guy, it's going over to the right flange. Look at this guy over here, right flange. So we're going to use these 2. By tightening these 2, it's going to pull the rim over to the right side, which is away from our scrape, which is what we want. So we're going to do minimum of a 1/4 turn, and we're doing a righty-tighty for this guy. And again, if we're a little tough turning, maybe put a little drop of oil down here at the base, and then we'll go to this one here. Give that a turn. So these are feeling pretty tight, so I'm probably doing like coming up short on a 1/4 turn. And then this guy in here, the one that is on the left side, we're gonna go opposite direction. We're actually gonna loosen just a little bit, relieving tension. So we're trying to keep an even balance here. So, and doing all this without disturbing our little guide right here. Give it a spin. We want to make sure if that scrape's gone, that means we did everything correctly. Now we still have a little bit of a wobble, but definitely helpful. So we're going to make another adjustment, come in closer with this caliper. And probably the same spot. So the center of this one's falling right about here. This is on the left side, so we don't want to touch these two. We're going to tighten the two outsides again. These are connected to the right side of the hub, so quarter turn. There we go. And we're getting a little better. Now we can check the other side too. A couple adjustments on one side. I'm going to back this guy off. Now we can focus on the right side. All right, so now we have a scrape over on the right side. We got a small scrape there, we established that. So the center of the scrape's falling right in between two spokes. The spoke is going to the left flange, this is going to the right flange. My rub is on the right, so we need the spoke that's going to the left, which is this guy here. That's gonna pull my rim this way away from my rub. So we're gonna give this one a little tighten. And we're gonna loosen the two outsides. Give it a spin, no more scrape, and we're just going to continue making our tolerance tighter and tighter.